Good day, grade 9 students. This is our first lesson for the second quarter, illustration of direct and inverse variation. So what is this direct and inverse variation? So I'll give you a scenario for you to understand these two kinds of variations. Let's start. Okay, so I have here the first scenario wherein the three kids are buying oranges. So, "Hi, Mang Bert, how much are 3 oranges?" said the first kid, this kid. And then the other kid, "I want to buy 5 oranges." And then for the third kid, "And I need 10." Okay, so Mang Bert replied to them, "Okay, okay, for 3 oranges, you'll pay 45 pesos. For 5 oranges, you'll pay 75 pesos. And for 10 oranges, you'll pay 150 pesos. Okay, so the three kids, nagulat sila. "Oh, you're so fast in computation. How do you do that?" So, ang ginamit niya ay variation. So, because I know the fixed price of each orange, so I just multiply the number of pieces to this fixed price. So, ano tong fixed price? Yung fixed price na yon, the price of each orange, which is 15 pesos, is the constant of variation. Yun yung fixed price ng isang orange. So, paano nakuha yon? Yung isang fixed price ng isang orange. Okay. So, tingnan natin. 45 pesos pag tatlong oranges. So, ang gagawin natin, kunin natin yung isang orange. I-divide natin itong 45 by 3. So, 45 divided by 3, it's 15 pesos. So, isang orange, 15 pesos. So, yun yung fixed price ng isang orange. So, pag bumili ka ng 3 orange, 45 pesos. Pag bumili ka ng 5 oranges, 75 pesos. Pag bumili ka ng 10 oranges, 150 pesos. 15 times 10, 15 times 5, 15 times 3. Okay, so that's how Mang Bert got the cost for the oranges that the three kids bought. Okay, so this is an example of direct variation. Direct variation means when one unit increases, the other unit increases also. So when the orange you bought increases, so tumataas yung binili ng mga bata. Una, 3, yung pangalawang bata, 5, pangatlong bata, 10. So, magkano yung babayaran nila? Tumataas din yung babayaran nila. Yung babayaran ng 3 ang binili, 45. Yung babayaran ng 5 ang binili, 75. Yung babayaran ng 10 ang binili, 150. So, kung tumataas yung oranges na bibili nyo, tataas din yung babayaran mong cost. Okay? So, when the orange you bought increases, the cost you will pay increases too. So, they are both increasing. That's why it is called direct variation. Pwede ring both decreasing. Pwede ring pababa. Okay, sa halimbawa, 10, 5, 3, pababa. So, 150, 75, 45. Kung decrease ang ating setup. Okay, so pwede ring both decreasing. So this scenario illustrates direct variation. Okay, next. Okay, let's have another scenario. So scenario 2. So here, a teacher is asking for the area of this given rectangle. So, good morning class. I have here a rectangle with these dimensions. So, ang dimension daw ay width is 4 centimeters and length is 15 centimeters. What is the area of this rectangle? So, how do we solve for area? So, one student answered, ito sinagot ng answer, multiply the length and the width. So, ang area ay 60 square centimeters. Okay. So, very good. Now, I would like you to give other values for length and width. having the same area. So this area is fixed because the teacher wants the same area. What are the other dimensions that are possible? Okay, so one student answered with 3 units or 3 centimeters, length 20 centimeters. So if you multiply this is 60. Another student with 2 centimeters, length 30 centimeters. This is also 30. 2 times 30, 60. 2 times 30, 60. 3 times 20, 60. Okay, another student's width is 5, length is 12. So 5 times 12 is 60. So using the table, let's put your answers on the table, said the teacher. So your width is 2, 3, 5, and your lengths are 30, 20, 12. Okay, so what do you observe about the values? For the width, it's increasing 2, 3, 5, while the length is decreasing. Okay, so one unit is increasing and the other unit is decreasing. From 30, it becomes 20, it becomes 12. Okay, so this is an example of inverse variation. So the opposite of the direct variation wherein both are increasing. So in inverse variation, when one unit increases, the other unit decreases. So, opposite sila. So, when the width increases, the length decreases based on the table. So, increasing itong 2, 3, 5, decreasing itong 30, 20, 12. So, ano yung tinatawag nating 60? That's what we call the constant of variation because the teacher asked a fixed area. So that's constant. It's fixed value for this scenario. So the constant of variation is 60. Okay, so this is an inverse variation. Again, one unit is increasing and the other unit is decreasing. So you are comparing two units here, or two quantities rather. Okay. So direct variation or direct proportion. So this is what we call direct variation. Direct variation is a relationship between two quantities. So we are dealing with two quantities. It can be x and y, where x increases, y also increases. So they are both increasing. Or as y decreases, x also decreases. So they can be both decreasing. And the ratio between them is constant. So when we say ratio, divide the two, the x and y, you'll get the value of k. Or the same of all given values of the variable. So in statements, so if y varies directly as x, then we say y is equal to kx. So this is our equation of this direct variation. So your k is the multiplier of your x. So y is equal to kx. And then if you're going to solve for k, divide both sides by x. That's why it becomes y over x. And k is called the constant of variation. So in the first scenario, the constant of variation is 15 pesos, the value of the oranges, or price, the price of one orange. So that's your constant of variation in the first example. So here, your table, in the first scenario that we have, if you buy 3 oranges, you'll pay 45 pesos. 5 oranges, 75 pesos. 10 oranges, 150 pesos. So this is your representation, the variable. So oranges, number of oranges, and cost C. So if you're going to represent the cost C to pay is directly proportional to the number of oranges bought. So this is the scenario a while ago. Your cost is directly proportional to the number n of oranges bought. Or it simply varies directly. Is varies directly. So this directly proportional can be replaced by varies directly. Okay. So this is now C varies directly as N. So the cost varies directly as N. So in equation, C is equal to K times N, wherein your K is the constant. So what is your constant here? It's 15. So 15 pesos times how many oranges? So 15 times 3. So you'll get 45 as the cost. So if you're going to solve for K, so K is equal to cost divided by N. So 45 divided by 3. So the cost, 45, this is your cost, divided by N, which is 3, you'll get the K. What is our K? It's 15. Okay? So 45 divided by 3 for this, 2. 75 divided by 5 for this 2. And 150 divided by 10. So they are all 15. So K is the constant. Hindi yan magbabago. The constant of variation are equal. Okay, lahat po. Pare-parehas po yung constant of variation. Ng pairs, sa bawat pair, parehas sila ng constant of variation. So the first pair, 15. Second pair, 15. Third pair, 15. When you divide the cost divided by the number of oranges. Okay, so ito po yung formula. So how do you get the formula? Divide both sides by n. Divide n here, divide n here, then cancel n. So the answer is k is equal to c over n. So this is for direct variation or direct proportion. What about for inverse variation? So for inverse variation, it involves a relation of two quantities also. So inverse variation, same as direct variation, involves a relation of two quantities. But the difference is the x and y are opposite. So wherein x increases, y decreases. So they are opposite in inverse variation. Or when y increases, x decreases. So yung y naman ang nag-increase, bababa naman yung x. And that their product remains constant. So kanina ratio, di-divide natin. Ngayon, mumultiply natin to get the constant. That's the inverse variation. So if y varies directly as x, or y is inversely proportional to x, then the equation will be y is equal to k divided by x. Kanina sa direct, k times x. At yung k natin, in-over natin yung y divided by x. Ngayon, yung k dito sa inverse, ita-times nyo. X times y, where k is the constant of variation or constant of relationship. So, ano yung example kanina? So, ito po, yung length tsaka width. The length is inversely proportional to width if you have the fixed area. If you have the fixed area, the length is inversely proportional with the width. Okay. So, the length L is inversely proportional to the width W of the rectangle. So, this inversely proportional, pwedeng palitan ng varies inversely. So, L varies inversely as W. Okay, so in equation, you have L is equal to K over W. So, kanina, K times any variable kapag direct. Ngayon, divide. K divided by W. And to get K, just multiply the length and the width. Cross multiply this one. So, our K is length times width. So, if you multiply this, 2 times 30, it's 60. 3 times 20, 60. 5 times 12, 60. Yun po yung K natin. So, the K is the product of the length and width, which is the area in the second scenario that we have. So, 2 times 30, 60. 3 times 20, 60. 5 times 12, 60. So, your K is the area here in the given scenario because it is a fixed area that the teacher wants to get out of the possible lengths and width. Ano-ano yung mga posibleng length and width na magpo-provide or makakam up nyo na area ay 60. So, yun yung nasa scenario. Okay. So, I'll give you different phrases that will illustrate direct or inverse variation. Okay, let's answer this. So, which of the following phrases illustrate direct variation or inverse variation? So, I have here 5 phrases. The first phrase is, the number of hours to finish a job to the number of men working. Okay, so you have to analyze. Kapag marami bang taong magwo-work, anong mangyayari sa oras ng pagtapos ng job? Halimbawa, dalawa kayong pinagawa ng isang bagay. Natapos niya ng 4 na oras. Kung ginawa ay 6 kayo na gagawa ng isang job, ano mangyayari sa oras? Bibilis o babagal? Mas marami kayo. O syempre, bibilis. So, dagdagan mo yung working, tumataas yung men working, bababa yung oras ng time. So, opposite. Increase mo yung men working, bibilis or bababa yung hours na matatapos yung job. Mas marami, mas mabilis. Sabi nga, kontian mo yung men working. Naku, ang tagal, mahabang oras. So, inverse sila. So, this is inverse. Opposite direction. Increase mo yung tao, bababa yung hours na matatapos. Kasi bibili sila, kaya bababa yung oras. Okay, next. The value of the land to the length of time you own it. So, halimbawa, bumili ka ng land. Binili mo siya ngayon ng 100,000. Habang tumatagal na nasa possession mo, ano mangyayari dun sa value ng land? From 100,000, pwede yang maging 110,000 after a year. So, nag-increase. So, humaba yung length ng time you own it, tumagal sa'yo. Tumaas yun, ibig sabihin, tumagal. Ano mangyayari sa value ng land? Tataas din. So, tatagal yung possession mo ng land, kasi nabili mo siya, matagal na, tataas din yung value. So, dito papasok yung mag-i-invest ka sa lupa, kasi hindi yan bababa kahit kailan. Pataas ng pataas yan. So, that is direct. Habang matagal mo siyang possession, nabili mo siya ng matagal na, tataas ng tataas ang value niyan. Okay. So, that's direct. Parehas tumataas. Okay. The time checking papers to the number of papers to be checked. Okay. So, halimbawa, isa lang checkan mo. Isa. Mababa lang. Ilang oras checkan? O baka ano lang, minuto lang. So, wala pang isang oras. Kung checkan mo, pataasin natin. Yung isang paper, gawin nating 1,000 papers. 1,000 na papel ang checkan mo. Ano mangyayari sa oras? Tatagal din. Tataas din yung oras mo. So, taasan mo yung papel na checkan. Ano mangyayari sa oras ng pag-check? Tataas din. So, parehas tumataas ito. So, pag parehas tumataas, direct. Okay? Next, the cost to pay to the number of kilos of rice to be bought. So, magbabayad ka ng binili mo na kilos of rice. So, kung bumili ka ng 1 kilo, kung 50 pesos, 50 pesos yung 1 kilo. Kung 2 kilo bibilin mo, ginawa mong 2, pinataas mo yung 1, ginawa mong 2 kilos, ano mangyayari sa babayaran mo? So, ang babayaran mo ay 100, tumaas din. So, parehas tumataas ito. Taasan mo yung kilos, tataas din yung babayaran mo. Taasan mo yung kilo, ilang kilo bibilin mo, taasan mo, tataas din yung babayaran mo. So, this is direct variation. Okay, the number of person sharing a pie to the size of slices of the pie. So, halimbawa, may pie ka, 4 lang kayong maghahati-hati. So, anong gagawin nyo doon? So, So, parang 4 quadrants. Sa Cartesian plane, malalaki, 4 na quadrants. 4 lang kayo naghati nun. So, malalaki ang share ng ano nyo, ng slices. Okay? So, 4, malaki yung share ng slices. Okay? Gawin nating 10 ang tinaasan mo yung person. Taasan mo tong person na maghahati. Tumaas. Ano mangyayari dun sa size ng slices? Madami kayong maghahati. Siyempre, liliit yung slices kasi hati-hatiin nyo nga, equally divided. So, taasan mo yung person, this is increasing. Ano mangyayari sa size? Decreasing, liliit ng liliit. Okay, so, taasan yung person, liliit yung maghati na person, liliit yung share mo sa slices. So, better, maliit lang yung magsishare-share para mas malaki yung slices. Okay, so this is inverse. Tumaas yung person sharing, liliit yung slices na matatanggap nyo, na makakain nyo na pie. Okay. So, these are the phrases that illustrate direct variation or inverse variation. So, as long as you know how to analyze whether one unit is increasing and the other unit is decreasing, that's inverse. If they are both increasing or parehas bumababa, both decreasing, that's direct. So, you have to analyze the phrase to determine if it is or if it illustrates direct variation or inverse variation. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you learned something new for the first topic of our second quarter. Goodbye, class!